Well, hello guys. This is my first attempt at doing a recorded audio version, and we're going to be looking at Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp. Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp is an interesting story in that it is what is called a frame story. A frame story is a story in which there is a greater frame to the story, and that there is an underlying story underneath the main one. And in fact, Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp comes from Tales of the Arabian Nights. And another name for it is 1001 Tales from 1001 Nights. And that's about a girl who is called Scheherazade, pronounce that 3 times fast. And she is a young lady who is going to be the wife of the Sultan. And in order to preserve her life, she has to tell the Sultan a tale each night. She does this for 1001 nights, and hence the name of the overall collection of stories here. And Aladdin, guys, is an interesting story. It is a most complicated plot. A lot of things happen in it. And in fact, the plot is hard to follow sometimes. There are many twists in the plot, and many of those twists are actually unexpected. And Aladdin, in this story, may well be an only child. There is no other child listed or mentioned in the story. They are poor. He and his mother are poor, and what I find interesting is that being poor really doesn't seem to bother them much. Aladdin is a very strong character. He has a very strong mentality. He is without any doubt, he is a main character. And he resolves many of his problems that seem quite difficult and perhaps impossible to resolve. And you may not be able to picture Aladdin in your mind's eye, but you know what he would do. And so there are many plot elements that contribute to his getting the Sultan's daughter. Now keep in mind that she is a princess. Remember that. And remember too, guys, as you read this piece, that Aladdin is the guy who pursues the princess in so many different ways. In some ways, he's very direct about it. In some ways, he's very deceptive about it. And in fact, his mother even gets in on the situation. And what is interesting, too, is that he becomes a great military leader. In fact, we read that I believe, at the very tail end of the piece. And it is interesting that there are some things going on in the story that we, the readers, we, the audience, know about this story that the characters in the story never know until the end. And one of these is the uncle, and he is a false uncle. And remember, guys, on the very first page of the story, the narrator tells us that the uncle is a false uncle. And what is interesting too, guys, is this. Remember the name of the story, Aladdin and the Wonderful Lamp. So, guys, we know that in the end, this story is going to have a happy ending. And that's where the wonderful comes from here. And in this story, guys, what keeps you reading the story? I'll bet, guys, that it is all the twists in the plot.